Values who we are, our tradition must be represented. So in that line, a cultural presentation.
And also, while we were still having the speech, the former
generational leadership development programs to create platforms that ensure their meaningful participation in government and economic life. Third, peace is not an event, but a continuous process requiring vigilance, collaboration, and courage. Therefore, peace building should be institutionalized in our political architecture through the preventive diplomacy model of the West Africa Elders Forum. I would be remiss in my remarks if I did not pay special tribute to the one who has made it possible for all of this to happen, because the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation is the brainchild of none other than former President, His Excellency, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, GCFR. He visioned it, and with the support of a dedicated and capable team, he has made it a reality. Having come to work closely and to know him, I believe 3 principled convictions of his have guided the path of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation. 1, he's an African leader who genuinely believes that elections are essentially an opportunity for the people to choose their leaders, and that out of every election, there will be a winner and a loser. The winner should be magnanimous and the loser gracious. As corollary, he also believes that there is life after the presidency. In this regard, he has practiced what he believes. Hence, he earned respect for his famous statement that his political ambition is not worth a single drop of blood of any Nigerian. Also, he has proven his relevance even out of office through his foundation, which we are celebrating today, which has provided a platform for the continent. 2, he genuinely believes that coups d'etat are an aberration. This, I'm sure, comes from his background as an academic. We all know he honed his political skills from his university days, when Nigerian students and lecturers were in the forefront of the fight against military dictatorship and for return to democracy. He remains convinced that authoritarian military governments of the past dragged the African continent backwards developmentally and stunted its democratic growth. This explains his work to ensure democratic consolidation through peaceful and credible elections as the pillars for anchoring the prosperity of Africa. 3, and finally, President Goodluck Jonathan believes in proper management of transitions through effective mediation to ensure their success. This explains the several occasions on which he has been charged by ECOWAS and the African Union to be the mediator in a number of difficult transitions, including more recently, the Gambia and in Mali. His calm, patient, and listening disposition, combined with his scientific, fact-based analytical approach, make him well suited to be an effective mediator. We can expect him and the foundation to be involved in many more of the transitions on our continent, which are becoming ever so complex and drawn out. As we look forward, the legacy of this first decade of the foundation, a legacy of impact, must be the basis on which to build more resilient, committed, and determined efforts to advance its noble objectives. This will be in sync with the aspirations of the Africa Union Silencing the Guns initiative, with the aspirations which remain a defining continental commitment under Agenda 2063, an Africa free of war and violent conflict, an Africa that has commanding heights over its abundant human and natural resources and harnesses them for the development and prosperity of all its peoples without leaving anyone behind. The Africa we want. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy 10th anniversary, the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation. And I thank you for your kind attention.
Came to me and we had a conversation. So we decided to start the foundation. And we wrote quite a number of things that we should do. We are looking at issues of women, we are looking at issues of children, issues of education, issues of poverty alleviation, issues of hunger, and so on. So Tony Elumelu again sent somebody who was managing his foundation at that time. I've forgotten his name, but he's a European, who came to me. And I told him the areas I wanted to focus the foundation. And the man said, I don't think you should go that way. That in Africa, most former presidents set up foundations and put so many things that they want to do. So they became jack of all and master of none. And people hardly know what they do. That when you were in office, there are two areas that people appreciate you so much. The issues of democracy, because you strengthened the Electoral Commission, and that as a city president, you call your challenger even before elections were concluded, and the whole world celebrates you for that. That you can go that area because immediately you announce it, people will believe in you because you have demonstrated it. And you did a lot of public sector reforms while in office. You strengthened a lot of institutions. So you can also go to public sector reforms. So we now change the whole things we wanted to do. And I remember when my childhood friend King Turner came, and I told him, look, this is what we want to do. And he looked through everything, and there was nothing about environment. King Turner said, how can you You are from the Niger Delta, the epicenter of environmental challenges. Your academic background is environmental. And you worked as a Assistant Director of Environmental Protection for years in UNPADEC. It will be difficult for you to have a foundation that will not talk about environment. But I said, well, everybody talks about environment. So I think I should leave the environmental issues to that. That's how we decided to concentrate on issues of democracy and public sector reform. But we have not done anything in terms of public sector reform, because for you to go there, a government must invite you to go and work there. The only thing close to that was when we worked with international ideas in the Gambia to review their constitution. So we decided to center on issues of democracy and governance. And just like my executive secretary have said it all, Ms. Anne Yonu, the media, the documentary, yeah, also you heard all. So we are now doing more of the issues of democracy and governance. And we have few products, though we are doing a number of things, like my executive director did mention, even in the documentary, you showed that even during the COVID, we did something. We can actually do anything we want to do. But the key area is about democracy. And one of the #1 products is the West African Elders Forum that we set up. A forum that is made up of former presidents of countries and former presidents of ECOWAS that we believe knows much about the West African sub-region. And this is a preventive diplomacy program. And just like she said, we noticed, even when I was in office, that most of the challenges we have used to emanate from poorly managed elections. In fact, Mali is still there. It was just parliamentary election that led to the crisis in Mali, not even presidential election. So we set up the West African Elders Forum so that we go to countries close to their elections and we also go during their elections. The idea, yes, we observe the elections, but we are not co-observers. We go there to make sure that if we notice anything that is coming up negatively, we intervene and try to see what we could do so that those issues will not snowball into crisis. And the condition to be a member of the West African Elders Forum is that you must be a former president within the sub-region and a former president of ECOWAS. Because we are not too many, so some vice presidents, like one of the ladies that spoke, the former vice president of the Gambia, also a member. But one clear condition is that you will not longer be an active politician. And that is why I'm disappointing most of my friends. They expect me to play active role in politics. But before I play active role in politics, I will first and foremost resign from the West African Elders Forum before I can play active role in politics. So, but then we do use presidents that are still active, but not as members of the forum. I remember during the Nigerian election, last elections, we had nobody because Baikoroma would have left the team because I am a Nigerian, so I couldn't even lead the team. But Baikoroma was being used by ECOWAS, and we wanted an English-speaking person. So we have to bring John Mahama, even though we knew he was still in active politics in Ghana. But we borrowed him, just come and lead this mission and go back. You are not yet a member until you finish your political activities. So that's our #1 product. The second one, which also was mentioned by the Executive Secretary, was our annual democracy dialogue. We try to look into some areas of the practice of democracy in Africa, and we get experienced speakers to come and speak on it. This documentary, I expected
Please, let's have the video.
Former Governor of Plateau State, Senator Dr. Jonathan.
In our midst, Your Excellencies, we have
is having the best years of his life after leaving office. President Goodluck Jonathan's decision to channel his passion into the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation proves one truth. Life begins anew when we leave the high offices for which we are elected. What happened thereafter defines something greater than politics, greater than tenure. It defines whether public service was just a position or whether it is, in fact, an eternal covenant for those who truly care for the people. Over the 10 years since he set up the foundation, and over 10 years since leaving office, the West African region, and indeed the world, has witnessed democracy come under severe threat. A threat from forces that do not share in the philosophy of former President Jonathan, where he has shown us that nobody's ambition surpasses the sovereignty of the state. Democracy has been weakened by adventurers, by extremists, by actors intoxicated by power, by those who see institutions as inconveniences and elections as formalities. And it is only now, as the world contends with these storms, that we fully grasp how timely and visionary it is to have a foundation solely committed to strengthening our democratic culture. If you look no further than around us, you will see what it means to sabotage the principles of democracy. The chaos that follows such subversion is never good for anyone, not even for those who stand aside and do nothing. And as Franz Fanon said, every onlooker is either a coward or a traitor. This is why, no matter how strong our sentiments, no matter whether our prepared candidates win or lose, we must learn to respect the wishes of those who vote differently, because democracy offers us repeated opportunities to renew our mandates. There will always be another election, another season, another chance to reclaim what we lost or reinforce what we gain. Every nation seeks a delicate balance, a balance where the government plays its part and the people do the same. A balance where the government sets the pace and the citizens, leaders of thought, and those who influence saturate that space with positive energy. No government can succeed without the cooperation of its people, and no people can advance without a government that listens and leads with clarity. I believe that what the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation has championed over these years stands as a template for us all, a template for leaders who may feel idle after office, for citizens who assume that service ends when the last official vehicle is parked, for everyone who believes that one can only serve through political office. This foundation shows that service is a continuum, and that leaving office is not the end of one's national duty, but the beginning of a new chapter. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our democracy stands because of people like former President Goodluck Jonathan. People who believe that the Nigerian state is bigger than any individual. People who understand that the state is greater than all of us and must therefore be protected with courage, with restraint, and with patriotism. The highest point of the Jonathan presidency was not that he won an election for a second term. The highest point of the Jonathan legacy was when he courageously conceded defeat and saved the nation from a precipice. Our democracy has survived turbulent election seasons and the schemes of conflict profiteers because we have collectively resolved that this nation cannot succeed unless every person and every group works for it. And it has become easier due to organizations such as this foundation, which carry the torch of democratic principles within and beyond our borders, promoting peace, accountability, and the sanctity of human life and the ballot. What President Jonathan said, that the life of a single Nigerian is superior to my longevity in office, is one of the finest statements ever made by a politician in Nigeria. More than ever before, the world needs voices of reason and champions of peace. That task is never the responsibility of one man or one institution. It is a shared duty, and the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation exists to remind us that each of us must play our part in preserving our civilization, securing our continent, and advancing humanity. So, on behalf of my boss, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and the good people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I congratulate former President Goodluck Jonathan, GCFR, and the exceptional team that has kept this foundation standing strong through the years. This 10th anniversary has no doubt produced witnesses to the essence of this foundation. We look forward to more seasons of your advocacy, your devotion to democracy, peace, collaboration, and transformation. May your example continue to inspire generations, and may this foundation continue to be a light on our path toward a more peaceful and prosperous Africa. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Please, you will hold on to that knife. Thank you. Yes, we have to cut it. Right, it's been 10 years, 10 amazing years, and we're going to count down to number 10, all the way from 1 to 10. Are we ready to go? All right, everybody, let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Thank you so much.
Is a custodian of our culture and tradition.
Yes, please.
In the house today, seated, values who we are, our tradition must be represented. So in that line, a cultural presentation.
And also, while we were still having the speech, the former